Thank you, Ramy. Now we have Keli for a 7-minute opening statement.
Okay, first I just wanted to say thanks to Socialist Alternative for being open-minded enough to have me here, because I do have to say that a lot of times liberals are quite intolerant, actually, in Seattle. So I think it says a lot about you for being so open-minded. So thank you, and thank you, Ramy, for inviting me. And I feel really lucky that we live in a country that we have the freedom to do this, and I think we're all probably very appreciative of this. First, I wanted to just take a minute or two to introduce myself, because I do feel like conservatives or Tea Partiers are kind of mythical creatures in Seattle, and because many of you may not actually know a real conservative, you might possibly buy into some caricatures or stereotypes about us. And so I would like to kind of just introduce myself. For the past 3 years, I've taught math and resume writing at a local nonprofit, private nonprofit, and we deal exclusively with low-income inner-city adults. We've got people who are, everything, on welfare, ex-cons, GAU, SSI, single mothers, food stamps, Medicaid, public housing, you name it, we serve them. And so my experience there has really informed my opinions on a lot of things in the public policy realm, because it's not just an academic debate to me. I'm not sitting in an ivory tower theorizing over some abstract concept of poverty. I deal with it every day, and I sit with people who cry in my classroom, and I hold their hand and we talk about things. And I will tell you that these people do not want any more government assistance. They want opportunities to grow and to get out of poverty. And so just so you know, that's what I deal with every day. That's my life. I also do improv theater. And so most of my friends for the past decade have been on the complete other side of the political spectrum from myself. And the thing that it's taught me, and what I wanted to bring here today, was what I mentioned at first, which is to view your political opponents as good people. Because I actually know progressives, and I'm friends with them, and we go to happy hour together, and I do plays with them, and I love them, I don't look at them as malicious, evil hate mongers that want to destroy society. Totally disagree with them on policy, but I know that they're good people and they come from a good place. And so I hope what you will take away from today is, disagree with me all you want, but the next time you see a Tea Partier or a conservative, have the decency to you get to choose. Choose to assume that they don't have malice in their heart, that they come to the table wanting to also do good, but they have a different prescription for the ailments of society. So that's one of my big purposes in coming here today. My remaining time, I would like to talk about the nature of rights, because I believe that is the biggest chasm between collectivists and individualists and socialists and capitalists. Rights are a moral concept, and they are the link between the moral code of the individual and the legal code of society. Individual rights are the only way to subordinate society to moral law. And if you look at throughout history, including today in various places like Venezuela, Greece, California, even, there has always been this push to lift society above the moral law that individuals are required to follow. And when you make the individual, when you empower the individual to be the one that makes the decisions, then you can stamp out that drive that a collectivist sort of mentality has towards tyranny and authoritarianism. The concept of a right is simply the freedom to act. It is the freedom of action. That's all it is. It's the freedom from physical compulsion, coercion, and the interference from another person. And by the same turn, an individual's neighbor possesses that same right to action and freedom from coercion. And there's only one way, an individual's rights are violated when he or she is compelled to act against his or her own judgment or forced to expropriate his or her values. Then the only way you can compel someone to act against his or her own judgment is by force. So I ask you, can you intellectually, emotionally, and morally accept a system that depends solely on force simply to exist? There are political rights, and I don't believe there are economic rights, because I believe that to have one, you cannot have the other. In order to enforce economic rights, you must destroy political rights and freedom of the individual. So I don't believe they can coexist. Capitalism is the only system that protects the individual's right to action, allows freedom from coercion and compulsion, demands there be voluntary consent of all participants in any transaction, and provides the right incentives and opportunity for anyone wishing to reach for their dreams. Therefore, capitalism is the only moral system, as it combines prosperity with freedom and upholds the rights of the individual. I'd like to read a quote quickly. If some men are entitled by right to the products of the work of others, it means that those others are deprived of rights and condemned to slave labor. Any alleged right of one man which necessitates the violation of the rights of another is not and cannot be a right. No man can have a right to impose an unchosen obligation, an unrewarded duty, or an involuntary servitude on another man. There can be no such thing as the right to enslave. Capitalism empowers the individual to rise above, like I said, the tyrannical and authoritarian impulses of the collective, and to be generous and charitable with their bounty, to take care of the needy of our own volition, rather than by some diktat. It gives us each the power to make our own destiny and to help our neighbors. And to me, capitalism is truly the system that allows you to say power to the people.